My question today is, do you feel that the Division community as a whole is overreacting to some of the balancing changes seen on the Title Update 6 PTS? From some of the reactions, you would think Massive just killed their puppies, while others are annoyed but see it more positively. I have to admit, I'm a little meh on the whole thing. My builds are being hit, but some of them did feel a little stale, and I think this is going to be interesting in terms of finding new combinations. Feeling forced to rebuild my gear all over after months is annoying, but it does feel like things are being done for the good of the game. Yet I do worry that the topics I covered in my last two videos, links down below, are only going to be exacerbated by including even more statistically better brand pieces in new slots and expanding the overall strength of the talent system. If you have not seen the state of the game this week, here is a little bit of what Fredrik Thylander had to say on the matter.
Like, we have observed a build meta that's solidifying. We need to make sure that builds are broad, that you can build with sort of anything you want, that you can really choose the style of build you want, and it works, and it's balanced.
I must admit that the spin he puts on the balance changes makes it sound good. They are trying to make the game more diverse, which, as a person who loves building, I gotta say having more options is always a good thing. Playing the way I want is a good thing. However, just the other day, a Barth on the Division 2 forums posted this. Basically, saying that in a tweet, Fredrik said there is an incoming skill mod nerf that included battery mods. So basically, I just went over to the Twitter page to see this for myself. And sure enough, he was talking about a 700 skill power nerf to the batteries and a 50% nerf to other skill mods. Reading an additional tweet, he states, batteries have been nerfed hard. Gear mod skill power for specific skills have been brought down. Now, I'm not sure what the full context for specific skills is. If maybe it only affects the most powerful ones, I'm not sure. But I immediately knew I would be suffering from this, as many of my skills get around 1,000 skill power from mods, if not more. As a skill build, I farm for utility slot gear a lot. Yet for some reason, I felt it was a good change. Mostly because I hated the ease in which many fake or hybrid builds could get huge skill power numbers without actually investing much into actual gear rolls. Plus, I feel it will help bring us closer to that role-based team play many of us liked in the first game. So that could be a positive change. As a whole though, it does feel annoying. I wish they had just told us about all the nerfs they were thinking about without prolonging the pain. I think that's the worst. They just kept going and letting us think that things were going to be done, but then they came out with another nerf. So that's why it feels bad, because this piecemeal way of letting us know builds are nerfed is rather frustrating. If you did have that build or two, mostly untouched by the balancing, you were thinking it might be okay, especially when you looked at the patch notes from the first phase of the PTS. And then maybe you got lucky in the second phase of the PTS, you were fine.
659. Ow, what the shit was that?
They smack you with that hammer out of nowhere, just like McLovin. I still think the ends justify the means. We want more freedom, and we want more diverse playstyles. But I fully understand the anger many players are having. When you combine it with other hot issues, like how the Eagle Bearer is getting nerfed by 15%. Although it is getting a talent boost, it can still feel bad to those that spent many days trying to grind it out. But then you have the unique talent nerf, which in many ways is going to be really strong once you get a better build for it. But for current builds like Raid or Explosive, and by Raid I mean the damage to elite builds, it is not very good. It's not a cool thing to do for your build, because now you just got 5 useless talents basically. But then, of course, you have current favorites being nerfed, like On the Ropes, Unstoppable, Spotter, and Compensated. The only real build killers are the unique talent changes, I think. But I still get why players are mad. I think the thing we need to look at, though, is that we actually do stand to gain a lot more over what we had. Yes, the unique issue is a bit of a killer, especially for those that have modded attribute roles. If you modded the talents, it will actually be an easy fix. On the other side, I do find it odd that they say they want more selection and variety, yet they target the outliers, the more focused builds, the full investment builds, if you will, and destroy them. I don't like the Big Brother approach because it seems to me that maxing out one area seems perfectly legit, especially in an RPG. I mean, it is the build they want, right? I mean, that's the whole goal. You want to have a super max, super focused build. And having those 6 talents all being into something specific are kind of a way to get that max build in this current system. But now that they're removing it, that kind of kills a little bit of that diversity and basically just kind of makes everything a little bit closer together, right? It's not diversity, it's just a little bit more flavor. You know, rather than having somebody invest fully into something, you're now being forced to invest broadly into things, which I understand why they're doing it, but at the same time, I don't really like it that way. If you really are making the talents better as a whole, would players not just diversify to better options eventually anyway, though? They could have boosted the stats like they want, but just added, something like diminishing returns. So let's say after you have 4 hard hitting on your build, the returns for each additional one are only like 5%. So basically, like the first 2 that you get the biggest boost, and then that would encourage diversity because you'd be like, okay, well, it's diminishing returns, I'm going to choose something else. But then for that player who wants specifically this thing, they still have a way to grab more of it. I think that would have been a good compromise. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.